All right, guys. When you drink and you're drunk and you are just so drunk to the point where you start doing things, do you feel like you are fully responsible for the things that you did while you were drunk?
Yes.
In my opinion, yes, because you got yourself drunk in the first place.
I had a couple of times where I got drunk and I didn't know anything that happened until my parents told me what happened the next day. Like when I fucked the shit out of a pillow, and then she wouldn't stop calling my pillow my girlfriend.
That's funny though. That's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
The only time I like blacked out, had no idea what the fuck happened, it was absinthe. So yeah, as far as alcohol goes, like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Like if I'm drunk even.
But if I'm unaware, it's still my fault because I'm the one that decided to put that drink in my mouth. Like I'm the one that decided to start it. So whatever I did unconsciously or whatever. Yeah. I think so. But there are a group of people that feel like it's not their fault.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I was under the influence. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So you're responsible for the things that you do when you're drunk.
In my opinion, yeah.
How about things that are done to you when you're drunk?
What do you mean? Like if
if
someone
someone-
raped me or whatever?
Like if someone would like come up to you and punch you in the face or some shit. I don't know. Are you responsible for that? Because it was.
No, nor would you be if you're sober.
Same, yeah. Yeah.
If things were done to you, it doesn't make any sense why it should be your fault.
Is there a response?
Like, are you responsible for getting into a fight? Using your example.
Or did I provoke it?
Yeah.
Was I like, do I fucking love you, bro? And I'm fucking spitting all over his face, and in case he punches me in the face, then I'm like, maybe I am responsible.
Oh yeah, that's
Did
true.
I provoke it? Or
Punch me in the face, bro. I can take it. I can fucking take it, bro. Yeah, you teach fighting, right? Fucking punch me in the face, dude. I'll teach you fighting.
But you can't knock me out.
You're like, fuck, you gotta get socked
how
out
about
now.
this situation? So this situation is there was this woman in Minneapolis who had been denied entry into a bar because she was already intoxicated after taking 5 shots of vodka and a prescription narcotic.
Fuck.
just fucked up.
You gotta be really wasted for a bar to be like, nah, you
can't
dude.
spend money
You
here."
can't come in here.
You've had enough. When they say you've had enough, you've had enough.
Yeah.
Like probably by 2.
Because they're recognizing you as a liability already.
Yeah.
So she was denied entry. That's when she met this 24-year-old man named Francois.
Francois?
Francois.
Where is this?
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
France.
Yeah.
Francois.
What's the guy doing in Minneapolis?
So
Be French, dude.
They met and he invited her to a party.
But she was already wasted.
And so
This is gonna be bad, huh?
when she got there, she realized that there was no one else there.
It was a party of one.
She blacked out on his couch and says that she woke up to find him sexually assaulting her.
Oh, he's one of those guys.
Yeah. So
She was just like drunk out of her mind by herself.
I guess is the way they're painting it. Yeah.
Fucking Francois.
So he was convicted of third-degree criminal sexual misconduct because the victim was drunk, and the jury considered her mentally incapacitated. So what ended up happening is the state of Minneapolis, they ended up having a ruling, a Supreme Court ruling. So like first it was like the initial case, and then they went to the Supreme Court. And they ruled that a person who is sexually assaulted while intoxicated does not fit the designation for a more serious charge if he or she consumed the alcohol or drugs
Oh,
voluntarily.
fuck that. Ooh. That's bullshit.
Pretty much that the girl,
Because she
She
consumed
did it
alcohol on her
herself?
own volition.
Yeah,
If she
then-
got sexually assaulted,
then it's her fault because she
which is
drank.
total.
Then it's her fault?
Well, pretty much saying that like he doesn't have to.
He doesn't have as much responsibility.
So it's not it's not rape. It's halfway rape.
Nonsense.
Wow, that's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Where is this?
Minnesota.
Oh,
The
come on.
Minnesota Supreme Court.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, right?
Because like if you play the hypothetical out, it's like, okay, I'm a rapist, right? Here's a chick that it hasn't drank at all, standing there, and then there's a chick laying on the floor that is completely fucked up, right? You're telling the rapist, oh, I'll just rape her then because I'm not gonna be in that much trouble. Why even put up the fight to try to rape the sober
That's a
chick?
really good
Or
point.
even if you change it to you were super drunk and then you're walking down the street and somebody mugged you and shot you, And it's like, well, it's at your fault because you were too drunk to protect yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know.
So the Supreme Court said that the lower court's definition of mentally incapacitated in that case was unreasonably, that it says it's unreasonably strains and stretches the plain text of the statute. Statute. Thank you. Statute. Because the victim was drunk before she met her attacker. To meet the definition, the alcohol must be administered to the person under its influence without that person's agreement.
Like you
So
roofied
date rape.
or some
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the only way that you can have mentally incapacitated
I see.
for it to be approved. So,
So
it's
that
like
what
a
they're-
loophole.
Yeah, what they're saying is like, oh yeah, if you're an Uber driver and someone is drunk getting into your car, go ahead and rape them. It's not gonna be that bad. That's what they're saying.
He also lured her in with false pretenses.
That's fucking crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
He said, we're going to a party, and it ended up just being his fucking house.
That's fucking crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so now there's a lot of people.
Nah, rape is rape, man.
Yeah, so they're saying that there is this dangerous loophole now that needs to be closed immediately, and so they're introducing a bill to amend this statute.
Whoa, that's fucking weird. Man, this is one of those things where in the justice system they detach the emotional and kind of layman's kind of common sense part of it, and then you start getting into the specifics of one law attached on top of another law, and it no longer becomes about, hey, how does this ruling affect the rest of the world?
It's like sodomy
Right.
laws, like, right? Like where
Yeah.
it's like, hey, two gay guys had sex but they're in a public place, right? And then one of the guys committed an act of sodomy upon the other, and so they both, like, that guy's going to jail now, and they're like, it was consensual, like, what the fuck? And then they're getting prosecuted. Like, it's like all these old fucking laws and old ways of having these laws on the books.
Damn,
That's so
that's
crazy.
crazy. That's fucking crazy.
So that what happened to the guy?
So they're saying that that the Supreme Court unanimously ruled that he can't be found guilty of rape
At all?
for that. But they said that the way that the state Supreme Court sees it is that he could be charged with fifth-degree criminal sexual conduct, which is a gross misdemeanor, and if convicted could mean up to 1 year in prison and a fine of up to $3,000.
Well, that's fair.
Which is a huge contrast to the third-degree conviction that could mean as many as 15 years behind prison. Behind bars.
It's a misdemeanor.
And a
Give me a
fine of-
fucking break.
And a fine of up to $30,000.
Can you imagine being his lawyer? He's like, hey, you know that chick you raped? You're not getting raped, buddy. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck? It's like the most disgusting conversation ever.
sometimes our justice system is hard to like understand, man.
Yeah,
It's
there's so many
crazy.
loopholes.
That's why you can't be living in Minneapolis, dude. Place is fucked up. over
Making
there.
a murder.
Yeah,
They fucked that up.
That's right.
Oh, is that where it was?
What was his name? Steven?
Avery.
Well, I thought that was in Green Bay. Or like, or Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, it
All
was.
those places are fucked.
That area,
Not Green Bay though, but outside of
Fargo, you know.
Yeah.
Fargo, yeah.
Any of those weird names? Fucking Temecula? Dude, come on, dude.
Yeah, so they're also adding in this article that the state Supreme Court pointed to the legislature. What the fuck?
Legislature.
Legislation.
Yes. For how the
Statute.
Statute of limitations.
statute was written. So he writes that the Supreme Court writes that while there is a common sense understanding that the term mentally incapacitated could include someone who drank voluntarily but cannot exercise judgment sufficiently to express consent to sex, that's not how the state's criminal sexual conduct statutes were written. So that's what they need to fix. Because that's how this fucker was able to get off.
It's under a different pretense.
Oh.
But then you let a rapist walk. I mean, that's the thing that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Because these guys are out there praying. Like, they're looking for people to do that to, you know?
Yeah, dude. It's man, it's
Such a-
tough.
yeah.
It is tough. Cause it's like the question is, do we even get justice, and are they gonna do it again? But also, how do you rehabilitate someone and give them another chance? Because then if you don't, then criminals will stay branded forever as a criminal, and they see no hope out of it, so they'll continue doing it. So there's two sides of the coin. It's like, that's why if you do like more of a draconian law, and then you give them no other choice after the fact, like you become branded this rapist or whatever, and then you cannot rehabilitate into society again, you go the other way because you're like, well, fuck it, I'm a rapist then, and I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Versus,
Well, that's why they should just go away. Like, I don't want too many rapists back on the streets.
Yeah, I kind of get that too.
Yeah.
Especially with something like
Yeah.
that, you know, it's like it's such a zero tolerance thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's some things that just need to be, you know, if you go and you fucking
Yeah.
rape somebody, do premeditated, like that's pretty fucking drastic.
yeah.
And I feel like there should be very drastic consequences for that.
Like rapists, for me, it's
yeah.
just like, I don't know about the rehab thing.
Because I'm more like put them on an island and burn them all, right?
Yeah, you got to
But
set them on
then-
fire, you know?
Yeah, but also there are certain countries that figure out better ways and healthier ways to deal with issues like social issues and rehabilitate. We don't have that in America.
Like discovering
that
the
at all.
seed, like the root cause. Like, why did you do this?
There's probably not one root cause.
Because it's usually a
I think it's
combination.
rooted in that they were molested. In most cases,
usually, yeah.
rapists and molesters, they were abused.
This is what rational people do, right? We try to understand something that seems so irrational and so insane, but sometimes people just aren't rational at all. Like we've all had conversations with those people as well. So there's a lot to take into account.
Well, like, yeah, so if they're a threat to society and they can't function at our level, this is why I emphasize rehabilitation, meaning that we got to bring this animal into becoming a human. And that's what the process is supposed to be, is bring them back into our society, and then they learn from that. And then usually these guys that do change, they can go back and help those that they did this thing with. Or else we could go the other way, and that's burn them all.
Yeah, because there's an argument to be made about people that have been sexually abused when they were younger or whatever, and they don't commit these types of crimes either. There's a group of people that say, you know what, I'm never letting that shit happen to anybody else.
Yeah.
And they make that a stand, and it is, and it's for some reason I never thought about that, but it's like, what happens then? Like, what happens to the people that are able to think logically about
Break the
this?
cycle.
Yeah, exactly. Like that should, like, no one ever really talks about that. At least in, like, from the narrative of all that stuff, I don't really hear about that much. And it's like, man, what do you do about people that do this type of shit?
I watched this guy who's in
Set
his
him on
20s,
fire.
and he was talking about how he is a pedophile, but he does not act upon it. And then so he was talking about like how not everyone who desires these things have to act upon these desires, and that's a self-control issue.
I mean, that's like a thief that wants to steal something, but he's like, I'm not stealing anymore. I'm never gonna steal.
It's a self-discipline issue, and then the ones that act upon it, they're a threat to society. So we have to remove them because if they can't control themselves, we have to control them.
Yeah.
So it's like that's not happening though, because then the way our system works is they keep coming out, and then they keep committing stuff, and it's not till after they start doing it 3-4 times, then it's like, okay, now they got
we'll
life.
do something.
Now they got
Fuck
life, because it's like someone has to get fucked in order for them to go to jail.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Imagine being at a party and you're talking to the guy whose brand is, I'm the pedophile guy, but I don't act on it. How you doing?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Shit.
I'm a Taurus.
Yeah, for him to come out though.
A Taurus? That's what he is.